Check, check, check. Can somebody say, whoa? Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. My name is Kiran Vidula. I represent my wife's dance company, Panadanza Dance Company. Panadanza representing her homeland of Panama, but also representing the wide array of cultures that we celebrate through this music and dance. We want to give a big thanks to Greater Milwaukee Foundation for inviting us to start this event off. Congrats on this beautiful new building, Thrive on King. Yes. We're going to start off with a Cuban rhythm called Elegua, and this has its traditions from Nigeria, the Yoruba culture. And we start with this piece because Elegua is the deity that clears the way and makes the path clear for us to proceed. So before we start, on the count of three, I'd like everybody to say your first name. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Very nice to meet y'all. My name is Kiran. This is Bonnie. And some of you know I like to always make y'all sing with us so it can bring us all together. So let me hear you say, Elegua goanya. Elegua goanya.
Elegua goanya.
Elegua goanya. Elegua goanya.
We are so happy to be here.
Elegua goanya.
Chiquito,
¿qué quieres tú?
chamaquito,
¿Qué quieres tú?
chiquitito,
¿Qué quieres tú?
chamaquito.
¿Qué quieres tú?
Che, 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 che. Chiquitito,
¿Qué quieres tú?
chamaquita,
¿Qué quieres tú? Che, 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 che. One more time for Imani and Carlise. So this is one version of Panadanza. Sometimes we have up to 10 musicians and dancers with us. We all represent so many different cultures, from India to Colombia, Panama. And this next beat is from Puerto Rico, and it's called Bomba. Can somebody say Bomba?
bomba.
And the coro, that's where we all sing, right? That's what brings the community together. It goes like this. Aye, aye, dale golpe. Aye, aye, dale
I
golpe.
hear you.
One more time, come on. Aye, aye, dale
Eso
golpe.
es, eso es, eso es.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Dale, dale, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Toca bomba, pide golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Toca bomba, pide golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Toca, toca, pide el golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Pa' que bailen, pa' que gocen.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Toca bomba, pide golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Toca, toca, pide golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Toca bomba, pide golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Toca, toca, pide golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Pide, pide, pide golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Toca, toca, toca el golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Toca, toca, pide el golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Pa' que bailen, pa' que gocen.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Pa' que vayan voladores.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Dale, dale, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Dale, dale, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Dale, dale, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Toca, toca, pide golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Toca, toca, pide el golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Pide, pide, pide golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Dale, dale, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Dale, dale, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Dale, dale, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Toca, toca, pide golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Ay, dale golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe.
Toca, toca, pide golpe.
Aye, aye, dale golpe. Thank you so very much. Once again, that name is Pa Na Danza. You can find us online. Thank you again to the Greater Milwaukee Foundation and our company's founder, Ms. Carlise Kelly. Have a great night.
held us down. But now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go. And where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together. We're polishing up our act. And if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Well, don't you let nothing, nothing stand in your way. I want y'all to listen, listen to every word I say, every word I say. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the
and a board member of the foundation. And before that life, I was a judge in Milwaukee for 20 years. And everybody asks me when I get off the bench, what was the lesson I learned while I was on the bench? And I learned two lessons which kind of tie into what we're talking about tonight. The first lesson is that it is easier to raise a child than to repair broken adults, which is important and part of the message what we're talking about here today. So that's number one. Number two, the second lesson is that people who are raised on love view the world much differently than people who were raised on survival. And unfortunately in our community, there's too many people who've been raised on survival. So we're going to talk about how we can make it truly a Milwaukee for all today. But I have the distinct pleasure of introducing today a very talented spoken word poet. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you to the stage, Miss Amira Adams. Miss Amira Adams, please make your way to the stage.
Hello, everyone. It's an honor to be here today. My name is Amira Adams, also known as Amira the Poet, and I wrote a poem just for you all today, and it's titled, A Milwaukee for All. Thrive on, thrive on. What does it mean to thrive? Witnessing the building blocks that led us to this very moment in time, the work that has been accomplished throughout the region and citywide, together laying the foundation through the Greater Milwaukee Foundation community, partners, and stakeholders. You should all be standing here in this moment with great pride. We see what you're doing to pour into the city. We see your impact on every side in a community where you have the opportunity to change lives. Creating space where inclusion and equity aligns, providing housing in areas that are oftentimes overlooked, building community. How important is it to have a village? Being intentional about putting people in a better position, creating a catalytic impact. Dedicated to being the change agent, uplifting the communities disproportionately affected by disparities, bringing vision to the issue and creating clarity, the beauty of recoloring red lines. By figuring out a way to bring economic and social benefit to the communities of color, implementing infrastructure to continue a ripple effect like no other of inclusion, of positivity, of growth, of programming. Nothing about us without us, working together, all of us, essentially taking an oath to leave the communities better than you found them. Building on a vibrant history and a shared vision, inspired generosity, philanthropy in all fashion, helping to move forward to complete the mission. Making Greater Milwaukee to southeastern Wisconsin a Greater Milwaukee, a place for all, reimagining change. Reimagining philanthropy, from seniors to early childhood, following through so Milwaukee succeeds. Thrive on King Drive is the seed that is blossoming before our very eyes. And with that, we have to honor a leader who's done the work and will be leaving a great legacy, Ellen Gilligan, along with a mighty, mighty team, amplifying the North Star of racial equity and inclusion, using that as a force for the work that we are doing, believing in growth, collaboration with deep commitment to strategies that foster access to opportunity, dedicated to strengthen the community and improve lives, doing the work and fostering relationships to address the cries. Thank you for your dedication and continue to rise. What we are standing in is Bronzeville personified. What we hear is the voice of the community leading the way, generational leaders creating generational change. The conference rooms, yes, we know them by name, recognizing no issue can be tackled the same. While understanding before you can even get to the tackle, you have to start running. The Greater Milwaukee Foundation and the wonderful community is currently in full speed. So here they come, thrive on, thrive on. What does it mean to thrive? Imagine who will join the movement if we keep inspiring lives. The Greater Milwaukee Foundation, how does it feel to see your hard work and dreams come true in real time? Thank you for putting in the work to help the city we all dearly love stay alive. Thank you.
Give it up for Amira Adams. So we've begun the night with a lot of inspiration already on this Juneteenth Eve. And just think, just tomorrow, just a couple of blocks down the road from here, there's going to be the community coming together here around this location to celebrate the day that those enslaved people in Galveston, Texas received word that they were in fact free. But today, we're here to celebrate. We're here to celebrate before we celebrate for Juneteenth. The Greater Milwaukee Foundation's service to the community is a reflection of its servant leaders and deep partnerships such as closest family, friends, and partners. I am proud to introduce tonight two people with a clear love and humanity for the Milwaukee community. Please welcome Board Chair Paul Jones and President and CEO Ellen Gilligan. You better get over here.
Well, let me start then. Thank you, Judge Mosley. It's always an honor sharing a stage with you, and of course with you, Ellen. You've been such a courageous leader in our community, so thank you. Wow, it's a pleasure seeing you all here tonight, especially here at Thrive On this night. It's really incredible to know that we're here and what all the work that went into building this as a catalyst for change in our community, so thank you. I know everyone here tonight, if you're here in this room, you care deeply for our community, and as you know, we've been on quite a journey together. Developing a shared vision of a Milwaukee for all was a very intentional process. It took time, care, and a lot of collaboration. The board began with a bold idea, challenging ourselves, challenging the organization to think differently, to work differently. But the board did not do this alone. The community is the true author of a Milwaukee for all. So many different voices from different neighborhoods, different sectors of our community, and different lived experiences, they all shaped our approach. And as we gather here tonight, we are celebrating bringing all those ideas, taking those ideas, putting them into action, and then taking those actions and delivering results. That, I believe, is how we make real change in our community. It has been my honor to serve as the chair of this incredible board, especially at such a historic time. And as we gather, I want to thank you all for being here, celebrating Ellen and her great leadership, the work that we have done to deliver a vision of Milwaukee, a Milwaukee for all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul, and thank you for your leadership of the board for many years, your service on the board. We are here to celebrate you as well, so thank you very much. I'm going to try and do this like the cool kids and do it off my phone, so please bear with me. I am so excited to welcome you to our new home at the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. Look! Just look around you. I can't tell you what it means to all of us to be in this space and to see this beautiful space restored. Tonight is a night of deep gratitude and celebration. So we are celebrating several things. We are celebrating the restoration and the opening of Thrive on King as the Greater Milwaukee Foundation's new home. So I'm so happy that you're all here to celebrate with us. We are also celebrating the end and the successful end of our first historic campaign, the Greater Together campaign. And I think that that's a good time for me to take my leave. And so you'll be hearing a little bit from me later on, but I just really, there is so much to celebrate tonight, and we can't wait to get started. So Judge, let's get this party started.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Paul. Tonight is focused on showing you the impact and progress we're beginning to make together as we move beyond our inspirational promises and that we launched back in Milwaukee of 2020. You've been at our side all along. Thank you for holding us accountable. Since tonight's event cannot possibly convey the scale of everything that we are doing, we will kind of bring that down a little bit for you. And we will put it to the proudest moments that we'd like to share for you today. So at this time, I would like to direct your attention to this screen, and we're going to roll a video.
I think one of the challenges that our community has faced for years, and communities all across the country face, is individuals, organizations, and institutions attempting to solve complicated problems with very little engagement with the folks that they're trying to solve problems with and or for. One of the things that I really appreciate about the foundation is their interest in listening, their interest in understanding not just the surface level issues, but the root causes of the challenges that we face as a community.
GMF has just continued to evolve over the years, and I think one of the things we've become much better at is listening and involving everyone in our direction, in our vision, in our strategy, in our decision making.
It is through partnership, collaboration, and conversation, and both sides of the equation being open to listening and learning, that I think is essential to us being able to address the very critical challenges that we face in our communities.
I think the Greater Milwaukee Foundation has owned its responsibility and done it with integrity, they've done it with humility, and they've done it with a very, very intentional inclusivity that's different than anything we've ever been able to experience and witness.
It always takes a catalyst, somebody to say, hey, we need to be working more together, and the Greater Milwaukee Foundation has always stepped up to play that role.
The recent campaign has been so successful, and it's been so gratifying to have people place their trust in us with their dollars and their dreams, really, bringing together people with lived experience, bringing together the entire community. bringing everyone together in this vision of a Milwaukee for all.
So I think philanthropy can be a really powerful tool for investing in someone's life, and it goes so much farther than simply the act of giving money. Giving money is a transaction. The transformation comes when you go beyond those dollars.
When you're building something, you always want to have a strong foundation. You want to make sure that there's no cracks in it. You want to make sure that everything's going to support the rest of the building. So we are just that for our students. We're setting that foundation at a very young age so that as they continue in upper grades, they're able to support new learning, and they're going to be able to support it because we've set that foundation at a very young age.
I think probably the biggest way that the Greater Milwaukee Foundation has built trust is where they're putting their time and where they're putting their money. The Greater Milwaukee Foundation is a hub, and as a hub, they really help us connect with every sector of the economy, every sector of both the public and private institutions here in Milwaukee. So through that support and collaboration, we're able to connect with partners that we would never have had a chance to without the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. One example of that is Milwaukee has been preyed upon by predatory investors, and with the support of the Greater Milwaukee Foundation and others, we've built a new system called an acquisition fund that allows Axe Housing to purchase homes away from landlords and get them back into the hands of homeowners.
Centering community voice and the way the foundation does work is critical to how the foundation needs to do our work and moving forward. Moving this work forward, you can't do it alone. We have to partner. We have to bring all those institutions together to be able to move forward and to be able to be impactful. So Thrive On is a huge example of that. We walked alongside our community. We didn't take the lead in this space, but we relied on our community voice informing the work that we were doing.
The Thrive On Support Business cohort allowed me to meet other entrepreneurs. It allowed me to be seen. It allowed me to learn and be heard in spaces that understood what entrepreneurship was. It allowed us to grow and have foundational legs. And it was a support system for Spin MKE. As a Bronzeville resident, what I've noticed about the development is the energy, a city that I didn't think would thrive again, and to see this community thriving, it makes me proud.
So it's so inspiring to hear community voices talking about what a Milwaukee for All is all about, because everybody in Milwaukee deserves a quality education, quality housing, quality of life, dignity, and opportunity. And this whole thing that we're talking about here today is what it's all about, a Milwaukee for All. And so the foundation has a number of fundamental principles and strategic pillars that we talk about. And those pillars are reimagining philanthropy, catalyzing system change, convening and following community voice, and finally, building inclusive culture. So at this time, we're just gonna have brief conversations with certain members to come up and to explain a little bit about what those pillars mean. So at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Cecilia Gore, Foundation Board Member, Greater Together Campaign Co-Chair, and Executive Director of the Brewers Community Foundation. Cecilia, welcome.
Thank you.
And so I'm just going to start with just asking you, what does it mean when the foundation says we are reimagining philanthropy? What does that mean to you?
Well, for me, it starts with respect. I think that the foundation has done an excellent job of recognizing that we want to make a difference, we want to engage with people, but we don't necessarily know what everybody needs. So this whole piece around listening and respecting has been very important as we attempt to provide our time, our talent, and our resources to our community, but not to have the answer, but to engage people in the process.
So may I ask you, what made this campaign so historic?
Well, for me, and I have my notes because there's a lot to this campaign that has made it historic. So I want to start by saying I was honored to have an opportunity to serve as a campaign co-chair alongside Peter Bruce, Linda Mellows, and Dave Kundert. They were amazing co-chairs, amazing, and I want to thank you, Peter, who's here today, for the opportunity. I learned so much. These are courageous volunteers, and the staff and volunteers that were involved in this campaign and the leadership of the Greater Milwaukee Foundation are courageous leaders. This was an outstanding opportunity to bring the community together to invest in important solutions. Our results were historic. You asked what's historic. Over $726 million was raised. Over 4,800 donors, including 3,000 new donors. Gifts from $5 to $20 million, which included our donor advised funds, legacy promises, and co-investment in our identified priorities. This campaign was a first campaign for the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. It's actually a first of its kind for any community foundation in that it was comprehensive and priority focused. We were able to craft a strategy that benefited all areas of donor passion, including the spotted one-eyed butterfly. And we offered opportunities to co-invest where donor passions aligned with community priorities. Over 1,000 donors co-invested. Over $35 million was mobilized for priorities like early childhood and housing. We've also been able to bring the community together to invest in lasting solutions to big challenges and opportunities through systems change. Consider the impact. During our campaign period, over $504 million has been awarded in grants. I want to thank the donors and partners. The impact we are having is the result of your trust and generosity. Reimagining philanthropy only happens together. This indeed is a cause for celebration. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you, Cecilia. It's so great to see so many members of the community come together and take part in this effort. But our next guest knows firsthand about the Foundation's catalytic investments. His leadership, in fact, actually helped create this building that we are currently holding this event. The historic Thrive On King redevelopment was made possible by the Foundation teaming up with the Medical College of Wisconsin and Royal Capital to form the Thrive On collaboration. Please welcome Kevin Newell, founder and CEO of Royal Capital and Thrive On Collaboration co-chair. Welcome, Kevin.
I feel like I'm playing Jeopardy, so I'm excited.
So Kevin, you've been involved in a number of high-profile developments here in the city of Milwaukee, but what made this one unique to you?
I would not know where to start, but I'll try to do this. I grew up in this neighborhood, so having the ability to partner with significant leaders, stakeholders, community, and other to bring significant investment to this neighborhood in particular, it means a lot. I think the way that the foundation has leaned into this project, and I hate to say the word project, right? I'm gonna find a better word than project sometime. But the way that we've leaned into this work and the way that we have democratized the process, I think the city, the community overall, has too often focused on perfection. And we all know that perfection can be the enemy of progress. And so as folks have tried to reimagine how we look at philanthropy here at the foundation, I was certainly one that challenged them. And my goal was for me to have them give me a good reason why they couldn't get a yes out of anything. But I found really quickly that we were working so collaboratively, we were so mission aligned, that ideas were put on the table, and we were investigating and doing due diligence in a way that I don't think that we've ever seen done in this community. I'll give you a little bit of a nugget. Royal Capital as a company, we've done hundreds of millions of dollars of investment in this community and across the state. And when we look at our portfolio, roughly 98 to 99% of that capital, comes from other communities outside of Wisconsin, Chicago, New York, LA, Atlanta, and other. The way that the foundation stepped up here, they instantly became our largest investor by way of the impact investment funds they put into this transaction, both on the housing side and bringing mixed income, family and senior housing, as well as student housing to the other side of this wall. And then at the same time, being able to help us leverage this development this community is deserving of right here today. And so I think that we've just been so lucky to be in the right place, the right time as a community, to have the right leaders in place, to have Ellen Gilligan leading the charge, which we're going to miss, but she did tell me she's not going anywhere. So I'm excited about that. But overall, I would just compliment the team overall. It's been a very collaborative effort. At Royal Capital, we always say collaboration is new innovation, and I could not have picked better collaborators, so thank you all.
I have one more question for you, and this question has to do with the fact that you grew up in the community, and I know that community voice is important. Why was community voice so important in this project?
You know what, sometimes you gotta have the right leaders to say the right things. You gotta have bold leadership, and I use the word democratize, that's truly what it was. I mean, we stepped into this space, as Cecilia said, we were actively listening. And when we listened, we took that information back and not just put it into a file and put it into the back office, we actually synthesized that information. And sometimes foundations and corporate partners can be a little bit of an enigma. It's hard to navigate them and understand where they can show up and why not and so forth. But in this case, once we synthesized that information and we understood what the community was saying, from early childhood education to community convening, to food and beverage, to housing, to education across the street with Howard Fuller Collegiate Academy, we leaned into it, and then we said, you know what, if there's going to be some Ghostbusters out there, we're the team. We're going to go into this fire, we're going to figure it out, we're not going to leave until it's done. And that was probably 7 years ago of hard work, but here we are. And I think that that's been the North Star, as we kind of say, and our guide as we continue to navigate.
Kevin, thank you very much. Kevin Newell. Our next conversation offers a personal example of bringing community members together to use their voices. The Foundation's community-wide partnership, Milwaukee Succeeds, is a leader in education equity, with special focus on early childhood education and high school success. For the last 7 years, they've led the Milwaukee Early Childhood Education Coalition, whose work includes empowering community ambassadors to advocate for early childhood education policy and investment. We have some ambassadors here today. Please welcome Taffy Foster-Toney, who is joined by LaDonna Foster and Diana Rico. So we all can understand the importance of early childhood education, but in your opinion, what's wrong with the system? And importantly, more importantly than that, what motivated you to get involved at such a personal level?
Well, if you don't know, the system is broken. And it's been broken for many years, and the system is in a crisis. And if you don't believe that, you're in the wrong room tonight. I got involved because when I had my son, I struggled to find a quality child care facility to take care of my son. My son had some learning disabilities and some health challenges. And this still is happening today. And that's the reason why I got involved. But I also want to mention that there's 4 things that is leading child care into a crisis. One is affordability. Right now, child care is the cost of a college tuition. It's ridiculous for your infant to have to pay for college tuition. Accessibility. Right now, there's 4 to 6 months waiting time to get into a child care facility. Some facilities are not accepting children at all. Number 3, high quality child care. Now, a child soaks in knowledge from infancy to 5 years. We need well-qualified, skilled teachers for our children. But if we want well-qualified, skilled teachers, we have to pay them a livable wage, right? Our teachers are devalued. Standing LaDonna, this is my sister, and it's wonderful to have her advocate, have family advocate together. My sister had been in the industry for over 20 years. When she left the industry, she was making $17.50 an hour. She has a degree, a bachelor's degree. My niece was also a teacher, social work degree, bachelor's. She was making $9.50 an hour. Ridiculous. You can't sustain a family making that kind of money, let alone by yourself, right? Also, I want to give the ladies the opportunity to just briefly say why they got involved in Milwaukee Succeed. Diana?
Hello, everyone. I got involved because I don't think it's fair for families to have to choose between their careers or raising a family. And I think every family deserves the opportunity to be able to give their children a good start and a good foundation for their future education. And it's just kind of like building a house. You can't start from the second floor. You got to start from the bottom and work your way up. And I'm hoping with the work that we're doing, we want to make a difference. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So I just believe that we need qualified teachers. So I was one of those teachers that had a bachelor's degree, and my pay was so low. But I really wanted to stay in the field. I really enjoyed what I was doing, but we're losing qualified teachers. We need qualified teachers. Our children deserve the best, because we don't want to wait until they start middle school and then we wonder why come they can't read or why come they can't write. It starts when they are small. So we need to continue to make sure that we get funding enough so our teachers can get paid enough money. Thank you. That's why I got into it.
So I'm gonna be a little biased because she's my sister, but she was an excellent teacher. Now, my sister was able to make box toys for kids that they love to play with out of cardboard boxes. You know, nowadays families that go out and spend all this money on toys, very creative. And although we didn't get the $350 million that we asked for to fund childcare, I was able to have this awesome opportunity to get up and speak in front of the Joint Finance Committee in Waukesha. And let me tell you a little bit about that. That was the most nerve-wracking, nervous time to get up in front of individuals that didn't look like me, that is not understanding the impact, the crisis that the child care industry is going through now. But it was also rewarding as well. I had actually decided to do it like at the last minute. Something came over me. It was like, Taffy, you need to do this. You need to speak up. You need to advocate. And Anna, our community engagement manager, when I tell you, I called Anna like 2 days before we were supposed to speak. We were up till like 1 o'clock in the morning, helping me prepare to speak. And I'm like, she was just there with me. I work a 9-to-5 job, and so we were on it. I wish there was a clip to show how good I was, y'all. I was really good.
Hold on a second. So I know Taffy, and if I don't stop her, she will keep going. Yeah.
So I'm gonna come in here with you real quick, and I'm gonna ask you one more question.
Okay.
All right. And so the question I'm gonna ask is, for those who don't know, could you describe your role and the impact of ambassadors, and what that you see next? What's the future?
Yes. So my role is to advocate, go out and teach people in the community, providers, teachers, to advocate for themselves. So for right now this year, we're going to work on Advocacy 101, to teach teachers and families to go out there and advocate for themselves. We will be at Juneteenth tomorrow, have a booth. We'll also are really focusing on mental health this year too. We've been out in community, boots on the ground, asking providers, teachers, parents, what is it that is important to you? And one of the things is mental health. So we're really focusing on that. I know I can get long-winded, y'all, but I'm really passionate about this topic and this subject. But thank you so much. Thank you for the Greater Milwaukee Foundation for having us.
Ladies and gentlemen, Taffy, Donna, and Diana. So as you can see, there's been this theme, and the theme has been of partnership, and how important partnership is. To build a Milwaukee for all, we need strong partnerships in philanthropy and community. Joining us now is someone whose partnership in early education sector as a nonprofit leader and agency endowment donor demonstrates how the community and the foundation are aligned in so many ways. Please welcome Laura Gutierrez, CEO of the United Community Center. All right, you want to go there? It's on?
It's on.
Okay, everybody can hear you? Perfect.
Otherwise, I'll use my teacher voice, too.
So I guess my first question is, how do you see the foundation helping nonprofits?
Well, I do believe, a lot of has already been stated. It begins with alignment, partnership, and understanding how we can come together to really solve the issues that we're seeing or the challenges that we have in the community. For us, it was a very natural partnership because of the early childhood initiative, as well as housing that the United Community Center had along with the Greater Milwaukee Foundation.
Okay. So the United Community Center holds 2 endowment funds entrusted with the foundation. Mm-hmm. That means you've been a part of the Greater Milwaukee, Greater Together campaign and are connected in our quality early education. Tell us more about the partnership and the community impact investment from a nonprofit organization's perspective.
Well, I believe it begins with trust, right? We are trusting the Greater Milwaukee Foundation to invest our money and safeguard it so that it is there when we need it for our community. I think we've all talked about the importance of education. Many times you will hear us say at the United Community Center that education is the best inheritance we can leave our children. We say that to our parents, we say that to every investor, because that is the pathway out of poverty and into generational wealth. And quality education that all of our children need. And so if we are going to be and have a Milwaukee that is thriving, we need to come together and really make sure that we're providing that for all of our community.
Laura, thank you.
Thank you, Derek.
Laura Gutierrez. Fantastic. Great job. We've heard a number of examples today that have been deep and meaningful as far as partnerships, working with nonprofits, early childhood education. But at this moment, I'd like to take an opportunity to honor folks that helped bring the Greater Together campaign to life. It's my pleasure to welcome Jackie Hurd Barber to the stage. Oh, you got a song. You got a song. So, Jackie is a visionary leader, passionate volunteer, and a past chair of the foundation's board, who has championed this campaign through and through. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jackie Hurd Barber.
Thank you, Judge Mosley. And I just want you all to know you look fabulous. And what a beautiful facility that we are in. The last time I was in this building, I was stepping over things, making sure I had my hard hat on, making sure I didn't have flat hair when I left. But this is just fabulous. My role today is pretty simple. It's to say thank you. The success we're celebrating tonight is only possible when incredible volunteer leadership meets an incredibly generous community. I had the honor of serving as board chair during the Greater Together campaign and as chief of stewardship on the campaign committee. I just love that title, and I always want my husband just to say, Queen Stewardship, here you are. This was a daring endeavor, unprecedented for the foundation and the field. So I want to recognize the board for their vision. We called on the philanthropic community to come together in a way we never had before, and the community responded. Through your generosity and commitment, everyone in this room, we are closer to a Milwaukee for all. Philanthropy is deeply rooted in values, trust, and relationships. To all of our campaign leaders and committee members who lent their names, invested in the campaign, and invited others to join, I am eternally grateful, because this was more than a fundraiser. It was a catalyst, accelerating change that will impact our community for generations. Every step of the way, our campaign co-chairs provided the leadership needed to guide us toward collective success. Cecilia Gore, Peter Bruce, Dave Kundert, and Linda Mellows. Dave and Linda aren't able to make it tonight, but Peter and Cecilia, can you join me on stage? And Ellen, please join too. We want to recognize you for your role in building a Milwaukee for all. These commemorative plaques are a symbol of our gratitude for your service and love for Milwaukee, and we thank you.
We want to honor the special roles for a few additional people. We, first of all, I have to add my thanks to Jackie's for the wonderful leadership of the campaign and for every member who served on the campaign committee and our tremendous success. So please accept my deepest thanks So we also have a few additional people that played a special role in the campaign. And so I'd like to invite Corey Nettles, Bill Morley, and Jim Schleif, and if Jackie is already here, to join me on the stage, if you would. So Jackie has already introduced herself as the Queen of Stewardship. So we want to just underscore Jackie's particular role and the importance of her role as the Chair of Stewardship. And Corey, we want to thank you for being such a key spokesperson and ambassador for the campaign, and for being our Thrive On collaboration partner. Thank you. And Bill Morley and Jim Schleif are our events extraordinaire champions. So we really thank you for everything you have done to make our campaign a success. So thank you all very much. So as we move on with the program, I just want to underscore that the Greater Together campaign was really a historic campaign in so many ways. But it underscored what we already knew, that the generosity of our community, the trust in the foundation, that GMF is breaking new ground and leading the way in how we all are asked to participate. So congratulations and thank you all for the tremendous success of our campaign. And now I think Mr. Gill.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ellen. I have the pleasure of introducing today our, I guess, what is a good way to put it? You are our tribute speaker. How about that? But before I get into that, John, has everybody noticed that everybody else had a song when they came up and I didn't get a song? I put a request in for Kendrick. I don't know what happened. But I do have the pleasure of introducing John Daniels, the former foundation board chair. John, would you please come on up?
It is so wonderful to be here with all of you here, and I have the remarkable ability tonight to share just a few brief comments about my great friend, Ellen Gilligan. This is really a testament to all of you, what we see today. But as I was thinking about what I might say to you about Ellen and the foundation, I thought about the time when I was invited to join the board of the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. And to be honest with you, I paused a bit because I wanted to make sure that I could do something that would be impactful to this community. I knew that all of the remarkable people who've served on the board, many of whom are here tonight that I had a chance to serve with, had done incredible things. But I thought to myself, am I going to be able to have any impact for people who are not in the room? And that was a question that I asked myself. So for a moment, I called up a friend, person who at that point was then the CEO of Wisconsin's largest bank, and I said to him, what do you think? You think I should go on the board of the Greater Milwaukee Foundation? And he immediately said, John, you should absolutely do it because of the commitment that you've described to me makes an enormous amount of sense in terms of what your passions may be. And he said, by the way, John, I want to tell you a little story. He said, you may think of Milwaukee, but there are some neighborhoods in this community that don't go by the title of Milwaukee. They go by titles of things like Little Beirut or Little Cambodia. And he said, I think what you ought to do is I think you ought to take a drive through those neighborhoods to see what it is that is possible in this community. And sure enough, that's exactly what I did. I took a little ride, and the statistics do not tell the entire story for the level of poverty that existed. So for me, it was almost instantly a ratification. And, you know, I'm sort of the grandson of a Baptist preacher, so when you get ratification, you have to act on it. And I immediately called up Linda, and I said, Linda, I'm coming on the board, and I really want to be involved. And she said, that's wonderful. And I said, Linda, one of the most important things as we move forward is that we have a leader in this organization who can make transformative impact, because that's really what this foundation is all about. And I've seen it for decades, the people who change this community in ways that are very special. But there's no one that I've seen who changed this community in a more special way than Ellen Gilligan. And I want to share a few words with you tonight about Ellen. You know, we all, when we grow up, we have legends that we think of. Ellen, in my mind, is a legend beyond comparison. You know, some of the people that I had the chance to sort of interact with in my career have changed my view of what it is that you can do to affect people's lives. But they go beyond the boundaries of how they are personally identified. You know, I think about Henry Aaron or Sandra Day O'Connor or Bill Coleman. Think of Aaron beyond sports. Think of Sandra Day O'Connor beyond just being a lawyer. And think of Bill Coleman, who was #1 in Harvard Law School, who could not get a job as an African American, who went on to be on the cabinet of a president, went on to be an incredible partner of one of the world's greatest law firms, and in his spare time wrote briefs for the NAACP in order to open schools and opportunities for others. You know, those same blend of talents I saw in Ellen Gilligan from the moment I met her. You know, one of the things in life, occasionally you get an opportunity to do something that, you know, really, you didn't really do it, but you take all the credit for it. And one of the things that I am so pleased to be able to have been involved in was recruiting Ellen to this community, together with Judy and others who I see in the audience. But more important than just recruiting this remarkable woman was the fact that I had the chance to work with her on the board of the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. And in working with her, it reinforced everything that intuitively I felt. Every meeting that I went into with Ellen Gilligan, I went out of it admiring what she's done and how she did it. She did it in an enormously selfless way. You know, one of the things that I, as a kid who grew up on, 44th and Hampton, always thought about is who are the people that can change things, and how do you help those people? Well, Ellen, you have helped so many people in this community that it goes well beyond anything that any of us can possibly imagine. And we want to thank you, Ellen, for that. I know you'll get some plaudits later on, but I just personally want to share with you what you've done. This is one testament. What you and others have done is transformative. You know, one of the things that I think is, sometimes a little story tells something more than you can ever imagine. So a few weeks ago, I had breakfast with Ellen, and we were sitting there chit-chatting, and I see her son here. And you know, Ellen is a wonderful person, because Ellen, you can sit down and you can talk to about, okay, what are your aspirations for your family? And then, you know, after you finish talking about that, you sort of, what are your aspirations for changing this community, for changing the educational opportunities of everyone, so that everybody has a shot? So Ellen and I were sitting there, we were having breakfast, having a good old time, and we started talking, you know, about politics or whatever, and we started talking about her family. So Ellen related to me, well, you know, John, you know, when I was growing up, you know, her dad was a governor. She said, I went to a political convention in the 60s. And I said, oh, yeah? I said, Ellen, I said, you know, in the 60s, you know, I was a college student in Milwaukee. And I want to share with you a little bit about that photo. I was a college student in Milwaukee. I was working at night at the U.S. Post Office, trying to find my way to a path of success in this community. You know, it is really incredible that you are hosting this event today right on King Drive, because in 1967, Detroit erupted in a major way, causing tremendous social unrest. And Milwaukee was concerned that it also would be on the precipice of a major, major situation. Well, here I was, a college student, going to work at the post office at night, have all of my, you know, books under my arm, and suddenly I discover that the mayor of the city of Milwaukee had put in that day a curfew that prevented anyone from moving any place. Well, I'm on my way to the post office. Luckily for me, I bumped into some people from the U.S. Army who treated me with respect and no damage to myself. Well, not every youngster who was like me had the same benefit of that. There was another youngster just as talented, in fact, more talented than me, honor student in the Milwaukee Public Schools, a real true beacon in his community for kids who wanted to be like him and go on to college. And he did not survive. He did not survive because his life was taken because someone did not see in him the glimmer of what he could do and saw him in a lesser way. Why do I share this story with you? I share this story with you because as I was sitting there thinking about all of the things that I've had a chance to observe in Ellen over the years, what I have seen in every instance, she insists that everyone be treated fairly. She insists that every child needs and should have an opportunity to aspire to do everything within their abilities. You know, I've been in a few rooms with Ellen, and I might call her up later on. And you know, Ellen's got your back, because sometimes you go in some of these rooms and you're like, okay, I got to say what I got to say. You know, is there anybody in there that's going to, you know, be with me when I leave? Well, Ellen has always been there for all of us, for every child that's ever existed in this community. Ellen, we thank you for all of the strategic efforts that you have helped develop in this community. And I can tell you on a personal note, sometimes, you know, there are models of what the country can be like. You know, one of the things that is a difficult subject matter to discuss, it is frequently very difficult for people of different racial backgrounds to really embrace and trust each other. Well, Ellen, you have been a model for that we hold up in this community, and we admire you. We admire the courage, we admire everything that you've done to make life so much better for all of us. You know, Ellen, you know, when I was thinking about tonight, and, you know, they said, well, you have a few minutes, I'm just about ready to close. I said, you know, you got to remember, you know, I have a whole lot of ministers and stuff in my family, so tell me how many minutes I got. And so whatever you tell me, I'm still going to take a little more time. But I am just about finished here, Ellen, because I wanted to share with you that you have had an amazing transformative impact on this community. I say that to you as a friend and an admirer of the work that you have done. I was thinking about this a little, Ellen, and I know that, you don't, they told me not to give Ellen any gifts because they're going to have a few gifts for her later on. But Ellen, would you mind coming up here for just 1 minute? Ellen knows John does not abide by the rules frequently. And Ellen, I was thinking about you, and I was thinking about Mrs. Evers, who, as you know, was a legendary leader in our country and opened the lives for so many others. And Ellen, so I thought I would go and see if I could find a book that would really embody what you've meant to me, to everyone else in this community. So I found the book. It's called A Chronicle of Civil Rights. I give it to you because it reflects the story of enormous people who made enormous change. You are one of those people. Ellen, the stories in this community that will unfold for decades and decades and decades are because of you. Thank you, my friend, Ellen Gilligan.
Yes, thank you so much, John. I can't tell you what your comments and your tribute and everything in this book mean to me, and I have to collect myself here for a moment. Your notes are all over here, and I can't believe that you used my name in the same sentence as Bill Coleman and the others, so I just really thank you from the bottom of my heart for your inspiration, for your support. It means the world to me, so thank you very much. I do have a few minutes. They've asked me to not respond to what John said per se, but I have to put this down somewhere. I got too many things. It is really amazing to look around this room and to see so many friends and partners. People who have both inspired me, taught me so much, who have been partners along the way. I just can't tell you what it means to stand here and reflect on my now almost 14 years at the foundation. So at a time like this, you always think about those that taught you, and there are so many people in this room who have taught me so much. I remember my dad used to say, I'd like to go back and start all over. And I have a sense that I'd like to do that tonight, but I'm going to go forward. So I just want to start really with gratitude. This whole evening, this whole experience is just fills my heart and my soul with tremendous gratitude. And I am so inspired by what lies ahead. Throughout my career, I have been a risk taker. I have, especially when the reward is about shared growth and opportunity. I've raised my hand. I've put my hat in the ring. I've taken on big challenges, and I've focused on possibilities. I've always seen possibility. 14 years ago, that led me to Milwaukee, a beautiful city. Don't let anyone say it's a horrible city. Not anyone, not ever. and the opportunity to lead an organization that's become like a second family to me. The Greater Milwaukee Foundation and community philanthropy in general embodies all the values I hold most dear. The through line of my work has been about expanding access to resources and opportunities for people and places routinely overlooked, often communities of color. My career has taken me across the country, building relationships in urban neighborhoods and rural communities, learning from people's lived experience, listening to their hopes and dreams, and working to deliver. From the first day in Milwaukee, I remember being in your office and looking out and having a conversation about what was happening in Milwaukee and what I thought I might bring to the effort. I could see that there were complex challenges, and addressing them meant we had to bring the community together and really center community in the solutions. I have a small sign on my office door that reads, "Change happens at the speed of trust." In philanthropy, how we do the work matters. That is why we're here in this building now. And the answers are not in our offices. They are created together, in community, with community, by being consistently present. We are going to be consistently present in community. Our role is not to fix. It's to empower, to invest, and to advocate for community priorities. To be clear, I did not reinvent the foundation when I arrived. I tapped into 100+ years of community trust and generous philanthropy, and the recognition that systemic racism is holding our region back. Let me say that again. Systemic racism is holding our region back. I also tapped into a desire to move beyond the status quo, the opportunity to unlock the potential of the Greater Milwaukee Foundation's community leadership and a vision of what is possible. Mine was the opportunity to accelerate that vision. And we have been on an epic journey since then. I'm so thankful that my parents lived their values and led by example, taking risks, fighting for people's rights, promoting big ideas, while caring for people at every turn. You know, John, you told the story about being a college student during 1968. Let me just say, I was not a college student when I went to the 1968 convention, but I remember when in 1968, when Cincinnati did erupt in riots and people were getting back and forth to work and they were breaking curfew. And my dad went down to the courthouse and stood up for people. He was not an attorney. He just said, "This is not right. These people are coming and going from work, and I'm here to stand up for them and make sure that they get home safely." So the values that I have brought to this role and to my career are deeply embedded in me. These are not things that I just came upon. These are things that I learned from the time that I was this big and that are embedded in my soul. So my parents taught me that transformational change takes courage and bold action. The Foundation's commitment to build a Milwaukee for all will continue to require both, long after I've said my goodbyes. I hope that I'm leaving a foundation that has learned to work differently and view change through the eyes of community. I see plenty of evidence of that in our work today. We are more inclusive. We are changing systems. We are following community voice, as evidenced in this room. We are reimagining philanthropy each and every day. And we are not settling for a passive role in Milwaukee's future. The Foundation and our many partners are building a bridge to the future of a Milwaukee for all. That makes me proud. So I'm closing my remarks and my tenure, just as I opened it, with immense gratitude for the opportunity to serve. I have had the privilege of living and working with purpose that reflects my values. And I'm grateful to be surrounded by so many talented people and partners in this room who share the same motivation. So I have been on a gratitude tour, and so now this is my opportunity to thank many people in this room. So please bear with me. I'd like to thank all of the GMF board members, past and present, who are here tonight to stand and be recognized. Thank you for your leadership and support as we embraced racial equity as our North Star and embarked on a new vision and role for the Foundation. Please stand. And thank you to our partners in Thrive On. Opening this building is just the beginning. The best is yet to come. I can't wait to see what comes. And thank you to every donor who has sought to make a difference and has chosen the Foundation as their partner in philanthropy. And thank you to our nonprofit partners dedicated to improving the quality of life in so many ways in this community. And thank you to every resident who spent their time and talent and continue to contribute to solutions to move our work forward. And of course, none of this would be possible without our tremendous Foundation staff. One of the most gratifying aspects of my last 14 years was to build a talented, committed team that represents an inclusive Milwaukee and is committed to its boundless opportunity. So I'd like to ask the GMF staff to please stand and be recognized. Together, we've demonstrated that the Greater Milwaukee Foundation is everyone's community foundation. Finally, I want to thank my husband, Charlie DeSando, and our sons, Luke and Carlo. Carlo is not here this evening, but Luke is, who have supported me every step of the way. While this is the end of my tenure, we are at the beginning of another important era of leadership at the Foundation. I am thrilled that the board has selected Greg Wesley, my friend, my colleague, and partner in the work, as the Foundation's next president and CEO. Congratulations, Greg. The work we have all begun is just getting started. There is no bridge back from the change that we've made together. Change carries its own momentum, and the Greater Milwaukee Foundation is on the move, and the path leads forward, onward. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to share a gift of gratitude with Ellen. On behalf of the board and close friends of the foundation upon your retirement. Ellen, as a way to share our deep gratitude with you for the immeasurable impact you've made on the community during your tenure and your unwavering commitment to racial equity and inclusion, we are honored to announce here tonight that the President's Leadership Award in Racial Equity and Social Justice that you established as an annual award of the Foundation has been named in your honor, and an endowment has been created to ensure this important award honors community leaders who have worked tirelessly to overcome the burdens of inequity and injustice to make our region truly welcoming and inclusive communities for all people of all races, places, identities, and backgrounds. During your time as President and CEO, the Foundation has recognized amazing leaders with this award, including Geneva Johnson, Dr. Jeanette Mitchell, Ness Flores, Jose Oliveria, Lupe Martinez, to name a few. The endowment has received gifts and commitments of $125,000, which will ensure the award continues beyond your retirement for years to come. Distributions each year will support the financial award to recipients who receive this recognition. On behalf of all of us, thank you for your courageous leadership during unprecedented times, for lifting those who have committed their lives to helping everyone in our region live a healthy, thriving life, and for keeping us focused on ensuring this commitment remains at the center of our mission and our investments. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve on the board of the Foundation with you at the helm. This is our way of saying thank you, celebrating you, and continuing your leadership through the Ellen Gilligan President's Leadership Award in Racial Equity and Social Justice.
Chair here at the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, and I've been on this wonderful journey with Ellen, about which I'll speak in a moment. But I see most of us in the room have glasses, water or otherwise, and I think it's only appropriate that we should toast our fearless, rewired leader. And so Ellen, for your vision, for your compassion, for your commitment, and for your courage, we salute you for your amazing leadership at the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. Hear, hear. as a chair and I think now the longest current serving member of the board to provide just some brief reflections on my time as the board, as I'll be departing on June 30th with our current board chair, Paul Jones. And during my 12 plus years on the board, it's been just an amazing journey. And Ellen has been just an amazing leader. And so much of what I have enjoyed is to have watched the transformation of this organization. And throughout the night, you all have heard words like transformation and courage. When I was here in the cocktail hour, one of the wife of one of our board members, Jennifer Florsheim, said, "I'm like my kids, I keep using the words amazing and transformative like too often." And though we throw these words around perhaps too lightly, they actually do have real meaning. And Ellen really has been an amazing and a transformational and a courageous leader. And during my time on the board, I arrived a couple years after Ellen started. I saw us go from being a trust bank, supporting the one-eyed spotted butterfly that the board always laughs about, and making sure that we hold sacrosanct the intention of our donors. And we continued and continue to do that, while at the same time leaning into being a leading community leadership organization and one of the first foundations, large community foundations in the country to lean into this work. And we did that, Ellen, because of your vision, because of your compassion, because of your commitment, and because of your courage. The organization that Ellen inherited is a better, stronger, more impactful organization today than it was then. You hear us talk a lot about, if you've been paying attention, that racial equity and inclusion is our North Star. And as a board member early in the journey, I remember having a lot of conversations with Ellen as we went through a lot of strategic planning on racial equity and inclusion. And because I am a native son of Milwaukee, I know that race in this community, it is a systemic problem. And it's also the third rail of our community. And it explains singularly all of the major disparities that we have in our community. And we were screwing up our nerve, we were screwing up our courage as a community foundation to begin to talk about this and to decide whether we should tackle this. And I'd been around this community long enough to know of its challenges with our racial history. And Ellen, I don't know if you remember this, but early in that journey, I invited you out for drinks and dinner. And this was on the eve of our board trying to make a decision about whether we were really going to undertake this work. And I remember Ellen leaning in. And I said to you, "Are you sure you have the courage to do this work?" Do you remember that conversation? I said, "Are you prepared to leave it all on the field in pursuit of this work?" And Ellen said to me, "No, I'm not." She said, "I'm not ready to make that choice, to make that decision." You remember that? And I thanked Ellen for her honesty and her transparency. Because it's easy in the moment to say, "Yeah, I'm behind this, I'll do this," and then we leave and our actions and our behaviors don't follow our words. So I thanked Ellen for that. We left, we embraced, we hugged that evening, and we went our separate ways. And it was a few days later that Ellen called me and said, "I've been reflecting a lot on our conversation. And I've been reflecting on my life's work up until this time. And I'm thinking about what I want my future work to be." And she said, "We must do this." You heard her talk about being a risk taker. And this was a risk that Ellen decided to take. And she led us as a board, as an organization, and ultimately as a community in leaning into this work in a way that no other organization in our community has, and indeed as few in the country have. So for that, Ellen, as a community, we are all going to be forever indebted to you. I saw my friend Dan Bader here earlier this evening, and he had his own transformational project a little north of here. And many years ago, through Dan Bader, I met this amazing community asset, a gentleman by the name of Reuben Harpo. And Reuben Harpo was one of the wizened elders of our community. He's really a griot. And every time I would see Reuben, we would talk, we would exchange pleasantries, he would impart wisdom to me. And whenever we parted ways, he would always grab me and he would say, "Remember, we are the leaders that we have been waiting for." Reuben Harpo always said, "We are the leaders that we have been waiting for. So Ellen, for your tremendous legacy and your rich history, we're glad that you were the leader that we were waiting for. Godspeed to you, your family, and your rewiring.
Thank you, Corey. It's my pleasure to introduce to the stage the incoming President of the Board, Mary Ellen Stanek.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge Mosley, and thank you to all of our speakers. What a night of impact and inspiration. I do have to tell a little story about my friend John Daniels. I was seated next to him, and he leaned over. He said, I forgot the glasses. He's got a speech. It's a great speech. He said, I forgot the right glasses, so I'm going to have to kind of wing it and ad-lib it. John, this ad-lib is working for you, okay? So keep it up. But wow, what a night of gratitude and celebration, first for Ellen. Ellen, your service, your leadership, and your incredible impact. And she did leave it all out on the field. Corey, thank you, Ellen, for successfully completing our campaign. I'm going to start with acknowledging our team here, who did an incredible job, so thank you for that. Our volunteers, the leadership, along with all the other volunteers, and our donors. Lots of you are in the room tonight. For this project, it is catalytic. It is a generational decision to have huge impact in Milwaukee. It's a project by the community, for the community. So exciting to be here. Thank you, Kevin and team, for getting this building ready for us. And finally, an invitation. For those of you who have been on this journey for a long time, thank you. Keep it up. And if this is new to you or newer to you, please join us in this work. Join us with our focus, our strategy to truly create a just, a vibrant, a dynamic, and a healthy Milwaukee for all. We look forward to our work together. Thank you.
All right, that's a wrap. But, oh, look at you, Ellen, stop it. Oh, stop. But before we wrap, we wanted to do one more unveiling. Finished just yesterday, we want to reveal one art display that will adorn the first floor of Thrive On King. Over 20 artists were chosen by a community review committee to create and display their art, which tells the story of Bronzeville's past, present, and future. Thank you to the mural artist, Rosalia Singh, who I believe is here. Oh, hello. Stand up. And Reynaldo Hernandez. All right. So, as the MC of the event tonight, thank you so much for coming. It was my pleasure to stand here before you. And we ran just a little long. I'll take full responsibility for that. But thank you for coming, and we hope to see you soon inside this building. Take care. Oh, wait up. Ellen, I told you this last weekend, and I want to say it before I leave. I told Ellen a quote that meant a lot to me, and it made me think of her a lot. And it's a quote that I want everybody to take when they leave. And that's for us all to remember we are just one person, but to one person, to the world we are just one person, but to one person we could be the world. So please, thank you so much and have a great night.